Spring 2026. And what I have planned for the growing, flowering season through summer. We'll start here at the front where we run the house and end at the front door. There's just a planter of pansies and violas for spring. Let's see, I got my dahlia coming up and my penstemon, tiger lily, and baptisia. This was a project I worked on earlier this year by expanding this garden and putting in a better barrier for cleaning it up, basically. Adding lots of mulch and dirt and moved the border, added the rocks. You'll see when I walk around. These are my Weigela shrubs by my mailbox. The pink ones, or should I say the white flowers are that particular plant is crowding out the pink ones. So I'm going to try and move the pink ones to the back yard, and you'll see I have lots of open space now. These daffodils here really did not bloom much. I didn't see any blossoms, and what did blossom were the buds froze earlier, a couple weeks, about a month or two ago. When we had a really cold night, they froze. But I'm going to dig them all up and separate them because they're just not blooming anymore. This garden has gotten too crowded. Here's my other Weigela pink shrub. Not doing so hot, but hopefully when I get him in a better spot, he might perk up. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'll plant something else. Got a little bit of creeping Jenny around this barrel. I just got it from previous years of things I had in the planters, and they're perennial. And they don't take much. They don't die very easily, so I thought I'd put them in the mulch and see what happens. So far, they're still a little bit green. But see, here's what I did to the border. Looks a lot better. Got a few more weeds to pull over here that have grown up in the last couple weeks. But it's so gorgeous. My baptisia, like 3 weeks ago, the baptisias, you could barely see them coming out of the ground. And now they got flowers and they're about to bloom. You can see the little a few yellow flowers on them. The tips are going to be pink because it's a pink lemonade variety. Alright. This shrub needs trimming. I know. Haven't got to it yet. I know I've got tons of weeds and I gotta cut the grass. This is going to be a new project. I know it's leaning over. I don't have enough cinder blocks, or I didn't have enough cinder blocks to make it stay up, but I'm going to be building something over here to give my toad lilies more shade. You can see that guy right there, that's a toad lily. And then here's two others. Fortunately, they don't appear burnt anymore, but they were getting burnt because they just do not like the sun. They love the shade. It's my patio. More weeds. We got a new patio box there to store all the stuff we use when we have a fire. And I will be adding flowers to all of the holes and all the cinder blocks. Let's see, here's a planter with pansies and violas. I planted those in the fall. Winter didn't kill them. Yay! This is a hardy hibiscus. Come back. More petunias and pansies. Or pansies and violas. Ugh! I get confused sometimes too. And then that's a St. John's wort. We got a bunch of lilies. My lilac is flowering. My gladiolas are coming up out of the ground. There's my other St. John's wort and a ton of weeds. We got a rose bush here, a rose bush there. Lots of weeds. Gotta cut my grass. I know. We got other stuff growing in here besides the weeds. That's a dianthus. Gorgeous. Don't know how it got there, but it's beautiful. Because I know I didn't plant that there. I'm like, whatever. Birds. Gotta live with the birds. That's my butterfly bush, which will be transplanted. That's why I cut it back so far. I'm going to be turning this part in here to steps. Like these blocks right here, I'm going to make into steps, but for right now they're in the grass. And look, I finished my garden path. It goes all the way around to the back door. Finally finished. However, next year, or if I have time this year, instead of it coming up here to this part of the sidewalk, it's going to go around my oak tree and come back up over here where I'm going to be building steps. I don't know if I'm not going to have time for everything, but that's a future goal. Got to fix this bridge a little bit, but overall it's not doing too bad. Yeah, I got to clean out the dry creek bed and add some more rocks around it, but for the most part it was done last year. Everything has leafed out. That's my red bud. And that's my sister magnolia. Looking really bushy this year. I'm gonna be digging all this up over here because it is nothing but weeds. Except for this guy right here. This is a 4 o'clock. I don't want to lose him. I like him. But got piles of a few things that I still got to put up. But I got a lot of projects. I'm ADHD. But this here is my daylily garden. I didn't get a chance to work on it last year. That's why it looks so bad. But daylilies are not blooming yet, but they're growing. There's another rose bush that I will probably transfer to the back at some point. Got a few tiger lilies in back of the daylilies. Sorry. And lots of more weeds. Got an iris here. Looks like she fell over. They do that. They're doing that this year. My clematis is blooming a little bit. That guy needs to get transferred as well. My volunteer evergreen. Yes, it still has a few Christmas lights on it. Don't judge. Is getting so huge. This part of my bush I still need to trim. I got the other side trimmed. Now I gotta get this side trimmed. Let's see. Rosa Sharon's got plenty of leaves. I got some hostas. And a heuchera back there. Had some daffodils and tulips earlier. The daylilies are growing big. We got 2 dianthus that are going to be blooming a little bit here later. I think it's like a different variety than what I have in the back. Got some salvia here. My gardenia. That's so sad. I don't still think he likes that spot. Keeps getting burnt by frost and cold and snow and ice and all that good stuff. But I got another planter here with pansies and violas. This thing needs to get cleaned out as well. But my showy evening primrose, also known as pinks, they're starting to bloom a little bit. I've tried to thin them out over the years because they grow like weeds. As you can see, there's quite a few that are not in the garden. My pericallus is not looking very happy at the moment. But these pansies and violas are. It's right next to Ooh, my peonies are wide open. This is the first year that they flowered. I bought it at Home Depot 3 years ago after it had already bloomed, and it didn't bloom last year, just grew, and now I think it's finally blooming again. And then here, all the things you see flowering are columbine. That is a spiderwort. There's balloon flower. That is a bleeding heart. Hopefully I'll get some blooms out of it. Got irises in the back. And I have some more volunteer evergreens. I'll let them grow. Some viney stuff and a lot of things I gotta pull. But I'll walk around real quick. I've kind of turned this into a little bit of a fairy garden. Got my mushrooms and butterflies and the fairy houses. I love my bird houses. And of course, the face on the tree. Another bird house that I added last year. More fairies. My irises are falling over. Ooh, my fern is growing back. See that? Nice. Coming over here. My bird bath. My bench. Now we'll come around to the front door. You can see I trimmed all these off. Trimmed these back really bad. I didn't get a chance to trim it last year. So this year when I trimmed it, yeah, it looks pretty bad, but it'll fill in now that it's getting sun. Because boxwood shrubs can get very, very, very dense to where no sun gets on the inside and all the leaves are only on the outside. So, but it'll be healthy. And then I got pansies and more pansies in that one, violas and tiger lilies in here, and then my welcome sun and another small pot of violas. And I brought these over here. That right there gets a lot of wind. That's why you see parts of it on the ground. It makes a lot of noise, so I haven't bothered trying to hang it back up right now. But anyways, that is everything that's blooming in Middle Tennessee, spring 2006, mid-April.